Hello everyone and welcome back to another video of mine. This time I'm back with Heaven's Secret Requiem Season 1 Episode 7. Yes, I'm back. I am so excited for this one. A lot of you told me that we will have a cute little scene with our nice little angel. But if I can do anything about that, I'm gonna beat his ass before we have a nice little moment, because there is no way in hell that this man disappears and then suddenly there's this little zombie after us. No, I don't believe in coincidences. So this man better have a good explanation. And while we're at it, I heard that we will get an apology from Greg by paying gems, and I think this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Because you torture me. You strip me of my freedom and the rights to my body, and then I have to pay gems in order for you to acknowledge that what you did was horrible and you to ask for forgiveness. I have to pay for that forgiveness. Are you serious? Like I said, I have no idea what this creator thought when he was creating that storyline or those characters, but that creator completely ruined Anna. Dimitri has already been down the hill. Like, even in the first episode, I was not having his bullshit. And Greg now too. I actually thought about romancing Greg for some time, but the more I hear, the more I'm not having it. So that creator kind of ruined Greg for me. But once there is a nice cutie potato there truly respecting us, just like Christian Declare, he gets killed. I mean, a lot of you told me that he won't die, but still, like, this man sacrificing himself for us, actually throwing himself against the attacker and probably even getting badly injured. Hell no. Like, it's always the good ones that suffer. But let's see. Follow the wind and you will find something that has long been hidden. My feelings. Heaven's Secret Requiem, Episode 7, where the wind is blowing from. Okay. I came to my senses late in the evening. A dark raven knocked on the window, cawing grimly. Why is he so stressed out? It feels like he wants to say something. Gradually getting used to the gloom, I began to see the outlines of the room around me. Does she not realize what happened? Does she not remember? The office looked depressing. Smashed objects lay in disarray on the floor. Are we seeing this? Are we seeing that huge-ass blood on the ground? The door leading outside was ajar, and there were traces of blood along the floor disappearing into the darkness of the passage. What do you mean, just traces? There is this huge-ass amount of blood there. Noah? Boris? Nobody responded. Is it already night or is it still evening? It's pitch dark. I touched the back of my head. There were traces of blood on my fingers. I've hit my head pretty good. The raven suddenly froze, instantly watching me with his eyes as black as the night. Yo. Is he the raven? Is he the raven? Is Cain the raven? That would be so funny. There was booming silence, so much so that at first I thought I was going deaf. Somehow getting up, I went to the exit and pushed at the door slightly ajar. What happened? How's it possible that no one is there anymore? It was dark in the estate. Traces of scuffle and a path of destruction stretched from the office door down the stairs. Boris was sitting on the steps, wounded. He leaned against the wall, bowing his head. It's always the good people that suffer, y'all. I could just go on rampage. I crouched next to him and gently touched his shoulder. Boris, can you hear me? Wake up. His eyelids fluttered, then his brows furrowed. I called his name again and Boris forced his eyes open. Damn. What the hell? What could leave those prints? It literally looks like a huge-ass vampire. No, not vampire. Let's leave that out. a huge-ass werewolf came in and he was like, surprise, bitch, bet you thought you'd seen the last of me, slashed him wide open, or let's go with Teen Wolf, a canema, completely slicing open their victims and leaving them defenseless. He looked at me without actually seeing me. It was as if I was part of the dream he was having. What happened here? Boris' gaze finally gained focus. Are you okay? Are you hurt? I'm fine. I woke up in the office in the same spot where I passed out. He closed his eyes with relief. You're wounded. It's not my first or last wound, Alif. Help him fix his shirt at least. At least do something. The torn edge of Boris' shirt was wet and sticking to his wound, causing his every movement to bring him pain. Let me fix it. I'd be grateful. Carefully pulling away more fabric, I ran my fingers over the torn shirt, trying to check whether it was stuck to his skin elsewhere. Starting at his left shoulder, a long cut reached almost all the way to his right side. Boris winced watching my movements. Nothing else should bother you now. That's a pity. I looked at him, wanting to ask what he meant by that, but Boris quickly changed the subject. Boris is pleased that you wanted to help. I'm sorry, this man sacrificed himself for us almost, and we're not gonna help him. What kind of a bitch would we be? I threw him down the stairs, but I don't think he got hurt. He's a menace? We need to find Luba. I hope she wasn't hurt. Who was it? Noah? Yes, he appeared in front of me with glassy eyes and then rushed behind me. As if he wanted to get to you. I don't understand why he suddenly became so furious. Oh, hell no. Was he infected? And nobody noticed that he was infected? I mean, I'm not sure if that's kind of like a sign that you are suddenly starting to change. But if it was Noah, we came with Noah. Could it be possible? Was he infected and nobody noticed? But why to us? Why would he want to get to us desperately? Boris froze abruptly. You said you lost consciousness. Why? Everything started to blur before my eyes while we were standing at the bookshelves, but I don't know why. That is strange. Boris looked at the side, deep in thought. Then he turned his determined gaze to me. I need to go down. He might still be there, so stay here. If something goes wrong, lock yourself in the office and don't come out. The squad will probably come for you later. I'll do as you say, I'll go with you. Why the fuck would I just stay in that damn room? That damn room is not gonna do me any good, son. I'll go with you. Where do you think you're going? I don't want to argue with you now. And he's not even saying, no, you're staying here or something like Dimitri would be doing. No, he's like, I'm not gonna argue with you. I know it's not gonna be of any use. You're coming. I love him. You're injured. It's much easier to attack us if we split up. I gave Boris my hand and helped him stand. Be careful. Your companion isn't himself, and he's much more strength than before. Like I said, he's transitioning. Don't try to reason with him, at least for now. I nodded, peering intensely into the darkness ahead. There are guns downstairs. We need to be careful. We went down to the first floor. Everything was in disarray, just like in the office. He's not by the stairs. He recovered quickly. Noah could be nearby. He could be watching us, waiting for the right moment to attack. He's in transition. He's transitioning into a beast, y'all. I looked around. It was dark, but I could tell no one was there. Let's go to the basement. I don't think Luba was lucky enough to get far from here. We entered the hall. Chairs were scattered, but the guns were still hanging in place. Look at all this blood on the ground. So he only has a knife. He'll have to get close to us to attack. Not necessarily, babe. He can also throw the damn knife. Boris reached for his wound and pressed himself to the wall. He had been breathing heavily since the very beginning of the journey, and going down the stairs had knocked out the last of his strength. I mean, he's completely sliced open. Is anyone expecting him to behave differently? Where's the basement? I'll check it out.
Just ahead. Before you reach the gun stand, there's a large oak door.
I walked around the table and stepped forward. Boris slowly followed, but with each step the distance between us grew. My gaze caught the outline of a massive door in the shadows. I looked closer and saw Libya's dark silhouette lying very close to it. As soon as I took another next step, my shoe stepped on something hard. I bent down and picked up from the floor.
The knife.
That's probably the knife Noah used to slash Boris. I felt more confident holding a weapon in my hand. Squeezing the handle of the knife tighter, I approached Libya's body. The moonlight hardly reached that part of the hall. I had to strain my eyes to see anything. Path of the Devil's Whisper, I nudged the woman's feet with my shoe, waiting for a reaction. Dead? Leaning closer, I turned her from her side onto her back and brought the cold blade to the woman's nose. Great. Her warm breath fogged the shiny metal. Libya was alive. Thank goodness. There were no serious injuries on her body, except for a few shallow scratches. I pressed on one of them to bring the woman to her senses. Libya woke up just as the entrance doors of the estate opened. A cold wind blew into the hall and Dimitri came in. Y'all, I'm so sorry. Maybe there are still Dimitri fans out there, but at least not in my comments section, at least not from what I know. Every time I read the name Dimitri, Anna, or Greg, the happiness disappears. I am so sorry, y'all. The happiness disappears. I can't stand him. He literally is taking the fun out of everything. 3 more people walked behind him. I recognized the outlines of Kira and Anna. I hate Kira for putting that damn syringe into her neck. And we all know why I hate Anna. I said it so often. I explained it in vivid detail why I hate Dimitri, Greg, and Anna, and Kira in the very same episode. You can all watch the episode. I don't remember which episode it was, but the episode where we got tortured. You all know why I hate them all. They literally are sucking me dry. They're sucking me dry. They're sucking the life out of me just by the mention of their name. I recognized the outlines of Kira and Anna, but the last silhouette seemed unfamiliar to me. Libya, who had awoken, saw the knife in my hand and backed away in fear. She touched a metal tray and it clanged, drawing attention to us. Dimitri unmistakably identified my figure in the darkness. He walked around the table, not taking his eyes off me. I didn't dare move. What does he want? And why is he upset? Something about my appearance made him tense. I looked at my own hands. Oh, not him thinking that we slashed her. Y'all, why do we even bother? Why do we even bother? Now he's gonna think we are the ones causing all of this bullshit. We can't be trusted, blah, blah, blah. Blood dripped from the knife's handle, turning my palms dark red. In the eyes of those who just arrived, I was a threat. Y'all, there is nothing more I need to add. I'm just done with this game. The general nodded to Kira and she instantly appeared next to him. With a sharp movement, she knocked the knife out of my hand and it fell to the floor with a loud thud. Kira squeezed my hand and wouldn't let me move. Frightened, Libya crawled to the table, unable to rise to her feet. I'll definitely pay Kira back in her own coin. Oh, yeah. Let's see if she'll be this eager to lay her hands on me again later. Appearing in the passage, Boris raised his voice. That third silhouette, which I didn't recognize, blocked the man's path.
She has nothing to do with this. Look for the guy.
What the hell?
Stay where you are.
Dimitri looked at me and his eyes narrowed unkindly. What you want? I'm sorry. Can we pay gems to fucking bitch slap him? Please! Who can stand to be in the same room as this bitch? I'm sorry. Who is not losing their mind? Oh, no, I'm sorry, y'all. Where's the knife? Can we slash him? Please. I'm begging every single one of you. Is it a choice?
Where's Noah?
Throwing a contemptuous look at the soldier, Boris continued. It was clear from his appearance that standing up was extremely difficult for him.
You tucked us in his hiding somewhere here in the house. You need to inspect everything and be sure to catch him.
The general didn't listen to Boris' words. Still glaring at me, he said,
Simona, where is he? You're the partner. Why are you alone?
Why do we have to answer? Again, she is such... Yo, I'm sorry. Where is her fucking backbone? Where is her fucking backbone? You coming to me with some attitude, with some sass? I would be telling you either change your tone or you're not getting anything out of me. No, this woman literally answering as if she has no tail, as if she has a tail between her legs. Yo, what is wrong with her? How can she actually be fine with this man treating her like this? Where is her fucking backbone? Tell him to shove it. Even the nicest person snaps sometimes. How can you tell me that she doesn't snap at him? We separated, then I lost consciousness, and Libya and Boris were attacked by Noah? I don't know. The general sighed heavily and massaged the bridge of his nose. That's what you do to me, son. Then he took out his pistol and checked the charges.
Anna, Kira, stay here. We'll inspect the house. What's on the second floor?
Office and a couple of empty rooms. As soon as Dimitri and the soldier disappeared up the stairs, Kira painfully squeezed my wrist.
You won't get away with this. Nick, Amir, and now Noah, everyone around you is dropping like flies. When will the squad finally open their eyes and see that there is no coincidence?
Don't touch me, and keep your crazy theories to yourself. My attempt to break free only led to even greater aggression on Kira's part. Literally kick her in the balls, do something! A small skirmish turned into a fight. A well-trained soldier, she quickly knocked me down, pinning me to the floor with her knee. I ducked my nails into her leg, but she only pressed me harder into the wooden floor. I began to choke. Gasping for air and gradually plunging into darkness, I suddenly felt a hunger to stay alive. I won't give in to her. Fucking do something, bitch. At least do something. I mean, y'all, I think I need to put something out there. Of course, when we see something or we play a game, we want our character to kind of be a badass. But in real life, I don't think that we will be capable to deal someone that has been trained very well. Because we don't have that training. But we know that she has something, so she should remember something. Like, fight back, I don't know. Like, don't even allow her to get the advantage of you. Like, where are your quick reflexes? Don't even allow her to take your wrist. The blade of the discarded knife flashed nearby. Thank you. Concentrating my remaining strength into one more movement, I threw her off me with a jerk as I grabbed the knife handle. Kira didn't want to stop holding me down, and I didn't mind fighting her back. Adrenaline gave me unusual dexterity and power. Feeling the cold edge of metal at her throat, Kira froze. I saw anxiety in her eyes, along with anticipation and fear. I liked the last one the most. Yeah, fear. Fear me, you little motherfucking bitch. Who do you think you are? It caused a sweet thrill in my chest, wanting to feel more of it. I pressed harder against the blade. Kira kicked under me. To be quite honest, I like this development in her character, or more like in her thoughts, as much as I fear them. Because I feel like I always need to point this out, because I don't want anyone to be getting too much theory into this. What I like is that someone is capable to defend themselves, usually with words, because I treasure life, and that also means people's lives. I could never take someone's life. That would be too much. So doing what she's doing right now with the knife, I wouldn't be capable to do that. But in order to get you to let go of me, I wouldn't mind actually physically hurting you. Not deadly, but at least, I don't know, y'all, like, I don't know, I'm kicking you in the guts or something just to, get you to let go of me. Because if you get physical, don't you think that I'm just gonna stand there and do nothing? But I fight back with my words, and that's the only thing I do. And I don't want to inspire anyone to believe that killing someone or getting physical with someone, actually physically harming someone, is an option. Never ever, y'all. I'm just saying that I'm not mad at her for showing that she's not scared to go over the extremes in order to show that she is worthy. Like, worthy in the fact that she's not going to allow someone to disrespect her or to treat her badly. As in treating her like a prisoner and then making her feel that she's the reason that everything is going wrong in life. I'm a human being. I deserve respect too. You're not going to respect me. Don't think I'm going to respect you. And you actually physically harming me any chance you get and treating me like a prisoner. Like, who do you think you are? Just smash her. I don't know. Smack her across the face. I don't know. Whatever it takes just to get this bitch off my back.
Stop.
Oh, why? Did you stop when I told you to back off? Her fear and my sense of superiority were driving me crazy. They stirred my consciousness, evoked forgotten desires, and excited me. I wanted to completely surrender to these feelings, but having appeared so quickly, they just suddenly began to subside. I wanted to see the agony in Kira's eyes. Leaning over her, I whispered. Y'all, I actually thought something like this. Like, when you have the whisper of the devil, you kind of turn into a devil yourself. Like, the desire to see people fear you, the desire to have this huge ass amount of power to actually make everyone around you submit to you, that's what you crave. You thirst for people to scream your name, and that doesn't necessarily have to be in like a pleasure kind of way, but more like in a fear way. We kind of turn into a devil ourselves. Ooh, because are we seeing her eyes?
Your constant whining is annoying.
Do me a favor and shut up.
Don't.
Yes, do. The poor birdie fused pitifully. Desperate to break free, she couldn't understand how her frail rival was suddenly so strong. Is the devil giving me power? Y'all. What did I get myself into? Like, for the people that actually have like the angel path, let me know. I have the feeling most of you will have chosen the devil's side because of all the these bitches are pulling, but I will push harder and harder to make you tremble and kick just like you are now. Make me feel it again. The blade grazed Kira's skin. Make me feel. Y'all, the devil. It's the devil's call. Throwing my head back almost in ecstasy, I noticed Boris' perplexed gaze on me. He looked confused. Anna, who decided to intervene, abruptly pulled us away from each other. She ignored me and directed all her aggression toward Kira.
Calm down. Don't you see that now is not the time for your petty squabbles? Stop provoking everyone endlessly.
Kira turned her hateful, haunted glare toward me. You do it again and I will kill you. To be quite honest, I smile at Kira. I regret nothing. I'm sorry. I'm gonna smile at her. That's what you ugly ass gets. I grinned back at her. I could practically feel her rage. The clash between us barely made an impression on those present, probably because they'd all seen much more unpleasant scenes during the time I had spent in the rift. Footsteps pounded down the stairs. Dimitri and his subordinate had examined the second floor and were returning alone.
It's clear. Wait.
Frustrated, Dimitri came up to me and threw me a set of keys.
Is this what you came here for?
I nodded, putting the keys to the library in my pocket. The general looked at Kira and me, and then shook his head in disappointment. If I would care about what you think, I would feel hurt. We were both bruised and disheveled.
Are you in the kindergarten? One of us is. Are you playing in the sandbox or do you want to save your life?
Like I said, sometimes he bring in something, but he's still a piece of shit and he needs to die.
I'm disappointed, especially by you, Kira.
Oh, Simona, we weren't expecting anything better off of you, so why would Dimitri be expecting something better from you? Kira's ears turned red and she looked away ashamed. This rebuke was something even the upstart couldn't stand.
It won't happen again. Oh, yes, it will.
I know. Otherwise, you and I will be having a completely different conversation.
I'm living. An inspection of the first floor and basement brought no new results. Noah was no longer here.
The two of you left swayed late, and now a man from the squad has disappeared again. Simona, how does this happen? Dimitri slammed his fist on the table, making the wood groan. Should I really just lock you up? See? Can we just kill them all? I'm sorry. I regret nothing.
There was something wrong with the guy. Maybe he was also involved in the disappearance of those you're looking for in the forest.
Because I'm sorry, like, this is some kind of bullshit. No matter what happens, it's always us. Everyone always pointing their dirty little fingers at us. It's always us. Like, this is getting on nerves sooner or later. Like, please don't tell me that this is gonna be the entire storyline. Like, everyone always blaming us for everything horrible that's happening because...
It's your soldiers dangerous, not Simona.
Don't interfere.
Because he has his ideas.
Don't treat her the way you are. She can give you the answers.
She's a member of my squad. Says you. I decide how to talk to my people.
When did I ever say I'm part of your squad?
Not many of them are left.
Boris. Oh, Boris. People be telling me he's not a love interest. How could you be doing all of this to me? Dimitri's mouth leaned squared at his shoulders. I love it. Boris standing up for me. This man needs to survive.
Are these guns for decoration? Better take care of your wounds.
I'm not looking for a rival in you.
You're a lost son. Because he's a motherfucking bitch.
You wouldn't be able to compete anyway.
Someone is very convinced that they're gonna be capable to stand something. Bitch, this man is gonna fuck you over. There was silence. Everyone was waiting for Romanov's answer, but the man chose to remain silent. He's a smart man. He better survive this. He's a smart man. He knows when to be silent. However, his look was more eloquent than any words. It was clear Boris really did not want to look like a fool.
If you need medicine, you know where to find us.
Dimitri is too rude. But his status justifies it? No. And nothing justifies it. People from his squad are disappearing or dying and he can't do anything about it. He can only get angry at himself and take it out on those around him. I could care less if he's getting mad at himself and he's letting it out on other people. Like, no reason. There is no fucking reason for you to treat the people around you like garbage. We're human beings. We all have feelings. Just because you have a bad day or you are going through a hard time, it does not give you the right to let it out on other people. They can't do anything for the pain you're in. It can only... Yeah. Your relationship with Dimitri worsened. How did I ever have a relationship with this bitch? When? If my relationship with this man worsened, I'm fine with it, y'all. Because I hear a lot of people in my comment section actually pay gems in order to, like... I remember this one comment. I love her. I really hope that I'm not screwing her name up. Parkdea or Parkdrea. She actually wrote in my comment section and she was like, I'm paying diamond choices with Anna and Dimitri in order to get them to fight over me and then kill each other. That was a real one. She's a real one. I was living for that. I was having a laugh flash. I was laughing my ass off. Even my parents came into my room and they were like, why are you laughing like a maniac? That was a nice comment. I was living for that one because literally, have them all, literally, all of them together. Let's put them all together. Greg, Anna, and Dimitri, please, go ahead. Dimitri raised the collar of his coat and nodded toward the exit. Anna and the soldier disappeared through the doors of the estate and Kira and I hurried after. Why am I walking after him? Why can't I be with Boris? Why? The only man that's nice to me and I need to leave him here to leave with a bitch? Before leaving, I looked back, waiting to catch Boris' eye. He was staring directly at me. I wanted to say something, but I couldn't find the right words, so I left silently. I would have said I'm sorry, because he did get hurt because he was protecting us. Entering the squad's estate, the first thing I did was glance around for Cain, but the angel's white wings were nowhere in sight. Where is this maiden bitch? We saw it, I don't know for how long, maybe for like a minute of me recording, and then he was gone for the entire episode. Where is he? He's still missing. Those in half fell silent, turning their heads to the general.
Greg hasn't returned yet, has he?
One of the soldiers shook his head.
Get ready, we need to comb the city and the surroundings area again. A shiver ran down my spine. I turned briefly away from the people in the hall. The squad's sidelong glances were hitting me harder than I wanted to admit, and there was no point in pretending that the whole state of affairs didn't bother me. Am I clear? In 5 minutes we will gather in the hall. We don't have much time to lose. The general turned to face me in the same authoritative and cold tone with which he addressed the rest of those present. He said, And from you, expect results on the text and the ritual. We may not have a few years to decipher it, so take this seriously or I will chain you to a desk with the book. My lips twitched. I barely restrained myself from revealing disdain toward the general. How can anyone find him attractive? I'm sorry. Like I said, his outside appearance, he fine. Personality sucks. Which vote are we giving him, y'all? Which vote? He's getting an F, and he can sit down. Because, y'all, he's pathetic. I'm sorry. He's pathetic. He's ridiculous. He's an old man child. All I wanted was to wash the dirt and blood off of me as quickly as possible, and I gave me a towel and a basin and a small tub of water. The general forbade leaving the estate. They won't be able to get to the bathhouse. Like this should be enough to make you feel like a human. I was sincerely grateful to Anna for helping me. Why is she... Y'all, you know what? I'm not gonna say anything anymore about this. I said it so many times. Where is her fucking backbone? I would never be capable to forgive them. Cain is the only one that I would be capable to have a good relationship with. Because they're all adults. They're all adults. Cain was the only one that was actually showing that he was disgusted by what they were doing. Because we asked him in that episode. We were like, were you there? And he was like, I had the displeasure of being on duty. If he wouldn't have been on duty, he would have never allowed that bullshit to happen. He was on duty. They actually made him go on duty, made him do his rounds, because they knew that he was not gonna have the bullshit. After accepting the towel, I began to undress. Thank you, Anna. She smiled briefly and walked out the door. The room was cold. After washing, I wanted to get dressed as quickly as possible. Even though, to be quite honest, I'm gonna cut her some slack because she at least is shutting the fuck up. She's shutting up when she's supposed to. While Dimitri, that little motherfucking bitch, is not actually doing anything. He's just behaving like a little bitch. That's all this man is doing. Anna at least knows when to shut up. So I'm gonna cut her a bit of slack for that she knows when to shut up. Ooh, I love Curly. Nah. While the squad was gathering, I pretended to be studying the book. It was always easier to work on the text in complete silence, so with Anna fitting around next to me, concentrating seemed an impossible task. When the sounds of the squad's rushed readying stopped coming from the hall, I took the keys to the library and left the room. 3 people were sitting in the living room. Let's see what this night brings us. Stop. Where are you going? I jingled my keys. To the library, following the general's orders. I'll come with you. Are you sure you want to come with me? Apparently everyone is dying when I'm around. The second floor was in much worse condition than the first. The bad weather combined with the cold has taken its toll on the entire estate. The building needed repairs, or else it was in danger of collapsing in the foreseeable future. I didn't know it was that bad here. Won't the ceiling collapse on us in our sleep? Walk quietly. Ugh. The road soldier stopped at the locked doors and folded his arms over his chest. Having pulled out the keys, I stuck the appropriate one into the keyhole and turned it. A characteristical click was heard. Go in. What are you waiting for? We're all surrounded by bitches. Pushing open the doors, I found myself in a dusty old room. Shelves of books supported the high ceiling, sorry. The rows were in disarray. There were piles of books near the shelves. The soldier stood in the entryway so he could see the entire room. It was important for him to control the situation. Here. Taking the flashlight from his belt, he threw it at me. I directed the beam of light into the room and walked forward, inspecting everything. Didn't we have a flashlight on our own? Slipping between the rows and stopping at one of the shelves in the center of the hall, I ran my hand over the books. This is no match for the monastery's archives. Too many useless books about nothing. Damn! A strange noise came from behind the shelving. Peering around it, I saw the wind had knocked out one of the wooden panes. The wooden frame which held the panes of glass was now wobbling creakily. What the? Oh, great. Y'all, who's getting the bat? Who's getting the bat so we can beat him to death?
What's over there?
The angel coming out from behind the shelf made my heart jump out of my chest. I'm glad he's okay. I don't want to see him now. To be quite honest, I have a love-hate relationship with this man right now. I want to beat him to death and kiss him at the same time. Maybe that's real love. I'm glad he's okay. I'm glad he's fine, but still, get me a bat, y'all. Get me a bat so I can beat him.
Is everything okay?
Cain leaned in close to me and whispered,
Everything is alright, isn't it?
Not this man saying, let's have our little alone time here between the libraries without anyone disturbing. He looked at me with a gentle smile. In response to the soldier's question, I only shouted, Yes, the wind just knocked out the window frame.
This house is a wreck.
Oh, really? I'm so sorry. The soldier went to the window and closed the dangling pane. Seeing a shadow behind me, he reacted with lightning speed, pointing his pistol in front of him.
I forgot to close it.
That's the only reaction from Cain, y'all. He's like, sorry, I forgot to close the window.
Oh, it's you. The general was looking for you.
After Cain appeared, the soldier hastened a retreat to the fireplace downstairs. Guarding the empty hallway had hardly seemed interesting to him, which was understandable. After some time, I managed to find a shelf with books about mysticism, and religion. They were all in one section, and I had to look through each of them. I could only hope that the book I needed would be here. Who knows? Who knows? I brought a couple of volumes to the low couch. Cain brought the rest of the huge stack. This man literally suddenly just showing up out of nowhere, and suddenly he's like, let's go back to work. Bitch, I'm gonna beat you the fuck up. Where the fuck were you? In the last episode, I was about to say, where were you yesterday, y'all? Where the fuck have you been, son? When some huge-ass Virgin Mary was following me through the entire forest. He sat down next to me. His huge wings were in the way. Again. I have the feeling he's doing it on purpose, literally just putting his huge-ass wings in front of our eyes. He had to straighten them so they wouldn't touch the floor, but it meant his feathers were tickling my butt. It feels like he's doing it on purpose. Of course he is. Anything to get a reaction out of me. I mean, that's what I'm doing with him, but still. Opening book after book, I read their table of contents and put the volumes away. Some were preserved quite well, and the contents could be understood from the cover, but a lot of the books didn't have a title. Cain tried to get me to talk a couple of times, but I didn't want to answer him. Period. Show him that he fucked up. Show him that he needs to explain himself. Look at this man being really curious to get us to talk now. Strange. I thought we're getting on this bitch's nerves. Why is this bitch trying to talk to us again? Y'all, you can see I'm changing so hard, to be quite honest. I think a lot of you just love that about me. That no matter how fine a man is, or no matter how much I'm in love with them, you disrespect me, you done. There's no excuse for all this bullshit you're doing. Cain tried to get me to talk a couple of times, but I didn't want to answer him. I better keep my distance from him. I don't want to hear his explanation. Ignoring the fact that he won't really give us an explanation. The last time we asked for an explanation, when he
disappeared. Like I said, I am not mad at him for that, because he actually was really scared that something could happen to us, because he was literally hugging us. He was holding us while he was flying a few feet in the air, and then suddenly he disappeared into like a pile of smoke and we were falling. And you could actually see the anxiety, the fear in this man's eyes, like even what he said. There were also descriptions of this man's hands literally like crunching because he didn't want to let us go, but he knew that nothing he would want to do, as in nothing that he would desire with his mind, would help him to remain there with us in his arms. He still disappeared. You could see that. But now this man disappeared out of nowhere, and he wasn't there for, in my eyes, it's been 24 hours. In my eyes, it's been 24 hours. And now this man is trying to talk to us without actually thinking of giving us an explanation first? Fuck you!
If I let him make excuses, I'll definitely make the same mistake again. Not this man being mad. Look at him. He's a huge ass baby. Look at this man. Look at his face, y'all.
So you're angry then? You're not even listening.
Oh, I'm sorry. Isn't that supposed to be a normal thing? I mean, after all, he did tell us that he would not allow anyone to hurt us, and then suddenly he disappears out of nowhere. He not even answering anything we're saying, and we're being followed by a huge as a Virgin Mary. Y'all, like I said, I'm willing to forgive a lot of things for love, but you don't mess with me. You don't fuck with me. Like, you disappearing and everything, at least give me something, a small bit of information. Where were you? You expect me not to be upset? I was with you in a creepy ass monastery in order to get books that would help decipher the book of life or the book of the apocalypse more. And you disappeared and you suddenly reappear. And you expect me not to be upset that you just suddenly disappeared again? No, I won't. Leave me alone. Yeah. He's worth all the gems. Cain is the only one worthy of the gems. But this bitch still better give me something. Because you know why I like this romantic choices with Cain? Because you can actually see without us paying gems, there is something positive coming from him spontaneously. Without us paying gems beforehand. In Greg's circumstances, you need to pay gems in order for this man to show like a kinder side. No! That means you're a fucked character. You're a fucked up character. And I'm not paying gems in order to see any character growth. Character development. With Cain, you can see he feels bad and cares about you without you paying gems. Like, this man being hurt and upset and trying to get our attention, trying to mend what happened because of the fact that he disappeared again, that was before we had the choice. Cain fell silent, watching me as I leafed through the books and then put them down one by one in disappointment. We sat in silence for a while until he suddenly put his finger on a page, preventing me from turning it. This man is so not having it. He's like, you better talk to me, bitch, because I can't stand this. Let go. I tried to snatch the page from under his finger, but I couldn't. What are you doing?
Where did your scribes come from?
I fell. I didn't want to tell the whole truth. He looked at me and then lowered his head, drooping low to get a better look. Son, what you doing? I pushed him away, but Cain suddenly grabbed my hair. I fucking hate it. Y'all, I'm trying to hold on to my anger, but he is so fucking hot. I can't. I can't. Okay, Simona, don't allow this little bitch to get you. Don't let him get you. Don't let him catch you slipping.
Wait, I'll get the first aid, kid.
I'm fine, thank you. After opening the kit, he stood over it in indecision. It was fun to see. I was curious how he'd managed the situation. Has he ever cleaned a wound before or something?
Are you gloating?
Yes. Love it. Just a little. Son, this is pettiness that I condone. This is pettiness at its finest. Just a little.
That's okay, I deserve it.
He says with red eyes, y'all, we're not an angel. How come we were capable to actually have those red eyes? We share the same red eyes that he's having right now. How? Oh, you deserve it, you know? After thinking, he pinched off some cotton wool. It seemed I had underestimated his knowledge when suddenly he reached for the satisfy pins. Safety pins, sorry. Satisfy pins, y'all. My dirty thoughts. Why would you need those?
To seal your cuts.
My eyes went wide as I instinctively backed away. Me. Cain smiled slyly. Right, this man is a sly fox. What do we expect from his sorry ass? From his fine ass. From his fine ass looking. From his handsome, fuckable ass. Cain smiled slyly and put the safety pins back. Taking a bottle of peroxide, he dripped it onto the cotton wool.
Give me a hand.
Carefully taking my wrist, Cain began dabbing the red areas on my skin. The scratches and bruises didn't bother me. Everything would go away on its own without outside help. I just wanted to talk to Cain some more. I tried to extinguish that desire, but in the end I gave in. What's all this for?
I just want to do it.
Why? Perché? Warum? We're using all the language I can, y'all. Let me use Spanish as well. ¿Por qué? Oh, Thai as well. Damai. I've been watching Thai movies, so y'all. Like, why? Why do you want to do it? It seems like you don't have any problem disappearing, knowing that we would be worried. Like, this is what's getting on my nerves. He knows we care. He knows we have a big heart, and he knows that we care, and that we care specifically also about him. Yet he don't think that we could be worried that he's disappearing out of nowhere. He smiled to himself. The smile was subtle and a little unsettling. People smile that way when they remember something from the past, from long forgotten days gone by. I watched Cain as he treated my wounds. This man. I peered at his relaxed expression and watched him straighten the hair that fell over his face. His long, lowered eyelashes, his serene appearance, and leisurely movements indicated that his inherent restraint had disappeared. I was flattered that he allowed me to see him like this. It suits you to be good. This is how people have always seen angels. I don't think that he likes to be considered an angel, though. He laughed quietly.
Good? What do you mean? Being kind to others.
Which is like such a cliche, considering how we saw Heaven's Secret and its story unfold. We know that there are some demons that are kinder than angels. So, I'm sorry. This is kind of like a cliche. Angels are the good ones and demons are the bad ones. The angel looked at me and squinted his eyes.
Or do you?
Don't be looking at me. You're giving me dirty ideas, son. Don't be doing all of this. Don't be doing all of this because I'm really trying to hold it together. Y'all, you have no idea how hard I'm trying not to use every single dirty fantasy I have. I'm trying to be a good example. And I do remember the last time I said that, it was in A Song of Crimson Nile. I think it was in episode 5, where I was riding, or more like Eva was riding with Livius in the middle of nowhere in order to get to Eastman's body. And I wanted to use some dirty comment. Or I think it was with Ash. I think we were riding to see Livius in the first place. And I had some dirty fantasies in my head, and I was like, I'm trying to be a good example. I'm not gonna be doing all of this. And then a comment was like, what do you mean you're not gonna say it? You all want me to say it. I have the feeling you do. Like, just let me know in the comments. He posed a question to which he already knew the answer. Don't be looking at me. I didn't care how he was with others, as long as Cain didn't pose a threat to me. I don't think he poses a threat to you, in general, y'all. Like, as much as people were intimidated by that scene between him and the other demon, I don't think that he would ever be a threat to us. What I don't like is that he suddenly just disappeared out of nowhere and he doesn't think that people would be worried about him. Like, what is going on in this man's mind? Especially this man knows that we care about him, and he's pretending as if he never disappeared in the first place. But I didn't want to say it out loud. It seemed that we were communicating in veiled remarks with each other, talking about something different. We couldn't say it directly, or perhaps we didn't want to, because then the inevitability of our situation would fall upon us. We could run from half-truth, we could hide behind lies, but we couldn't hide from the truth. It would hit us hard, cutting us off from a pleasant fantasy once and for all.
Ignorance is charming. It allows you to see the light even in pitch darkness, hope and hopeless melancholy, and kindness and cruelty. One of the angels said it. Nice quote, right? And surprisingly accurate.
Not with that face of yours. He stopped and ran his finger over my wrist before stroking the dark cut on my palm. I narrowed my eyes, expecting a wave of pain, but the touch brought nothing but coolness.
If you want me to be kind, then teach me.
I'm sorry, son. I am so sorry, but with you, the only thing I get is being a menace. With you, the only thing you get out of me is being a sly bitch, son. You only get me to be mischievous. The second you're around, that's the only facade I can give you. You would have to teach me how to calm down, how to be cool when you're around. My God, how could someone be that fucking attractive, y'all, by literally just not doing much? Y'all, I can't. Oh my God. I'm trying to hold it together, but I can't. I can't. This man needs love. He leaned forward. I fucking hate it. This man needs to leave, y'all. He's having me on a chokehold, and I can't stand it. No, I hate how much I love it. I said the same about Amrit and Malbonte. I fucking hate it. God, I felt my heart skip a beat. Me. His wings touched my back, almost enveloping me. I looked into the eyes of this immortal being and couldn't understand how the feelings that arose inside me could be threatening. Time stopped and all thoughts faded into the background. Just pulling toward you and start making out, god damn it. I wanted to touch him, but I clenched my hands, restraining myself. She's actually trying to fight against the desire she has. If it would be up to me, this would be an entire different scene. Just don't disappear. He pushed aside the strands of my hair that were in his way and touched the red area on my neck. The cold cotton wool burned my skin. Cain was so close and yet so far away. Inaccessible, distant, incomprehensible.
Not now, but when you understand what this is.
Not this man actually saying we're not gonna fuck right now. We're only gonna fuck or get close to each other or kiss or get intimate the second that you understand what is going on between the both of us. Like where we stand. I can't how I can understand him. I hate it. I have the connection with him. I see the plan, son.
I'll be waiting.
I was so focused on trying not to show my own confusion that I didn't give much thought to his words. Cain didn't notice, or he was just deep in thought. His nearness made me feel elated, but knowing how hard it would be if he lost interest in me was scary. Don't make things up. Don't let your imagination go too far. After all, getting burned would be very painful. It's cold, then it's hot. Is it worth playing a game you can't win? I don't wanna lose. Bitches, I never lose. You want to play a game? Then let's play a game, but I'll be the one on top this time, okay? I'll be the one winning. I'm gonna be the one reaching the top. You will be under my control, son.
What are you thinking about?
That I want to fuck you? Don't be letting him hear that, y'all. I don't know. Are there even angels in general that can read minds? The lie escaped my lips instantly. About the book? Right.
Interesting thought.
Y'all, even with that expression of his, like, the frustration in his face. He's like, Ooh. Not this man. Ooh, y'all. Y'all. I have the feeling he don't like it when we're refusing him. As in, not that. I mean, I don't think that this man likes it when we're trying to deny the feelings we have for him. Because he was straightforward and saying, I will be waiting for you. And we're like, oh, I'm not thinking about anything you just said. I'm thinking about the book. He's like, you mind sharing?
Well, you share.
I remembered my agreement with Pylon and I suddenly felt uneasy. Making that deal with the demon seemed like a betrayal to me. I was scared that Cain would suddenly understand everything. A strange, stupid, and unusual thought of me. Y'all, I just love this. Because if you don't truly have feelings for someone, you wouldn't give a damn if they find out or not. We're scared that Cain will think that we have this close intimacy with Pylon. Like, she don't want him to know in general. Because if we would be like saying, yeah, I have a deal with this man, he will be looking at us as if we are stupid. Because Pylon is an actual demon. So he's like, you actually made a pact with the devil? Are you stupid? And we do know what happened the last time. When Pylon wanted to tell us something about Cain and his past, he would have murdered him, let's be real. But he didn't want us to see him like this, so he stopped. But if we wouldn't have been there, it would have ended completely different for Pylon. So if we now mention Pylon, who he already has bad blood with, I don't think he's gonna be amused. And we don't want this man to get bad ideas. As in, not that we're scared he's gonna kill him, but we don't want to make this man believe that we're off the market or something. Shaking my head, I pulled away and picked up the volume that had been set aside. That's enough. I've already treated the rest of the wounds. Let's get back to the books. Looking at me coldly, see? Cain pulled away and closed the bottle of peroxide. He put away the first aid kit and began to sort through the stack with me. He's not having it, y'all. Leaning back against the couch, Cain asked nonchalantly,
How did the search in the archive go?
You're looking down on the ground, huh? You see what you did, you little bitch. Sorry, nothing new.
How did you get back?
Not thanks to you. Y'all, I'm so sorry. What can I do? On my own. Why?
No reason. I needed to step away, and I was worried that
I would have died, considering the fact you needed to... I'm sorry, I would have smacked him. I really would, because to be quite honest, we actually need to talk about this. How could you think I would be fine? You were the one that said we need to go there together. And then you suddenly, and now you say you needed to step outside instead of saying that you suddenly disappeared again because, I don't know, some supernatural cause or some supernatural call made you disappear into a pile of smoke again. You're telling me that you had to step outside and you were nowhere inside. Are you kidding me? I interrupted him without letting him finish. Me. Everything's fine. The angel froze with an open book, watching as I continued to sort through the stack. He don't believe it, He understood that it was unpleasant for me to return to that topic, but he didn't expect that I'd cough off his attempts to explain so abruptly. Son, what do you expect? You're trying to lie.
You're trying to lie your way through. You're telling me you stepped outside? And you couldn't even say, sorry, I'm stepping outside. From the first floor came the laughter and cackling of the soldiers remaining in the estate. With that, the desire to start a frank conversation completely disappeared. Do you think we have a chance of fighting the book here? What if we're just wasting our time?
I wouldn't be surprised if it hadn't been here for a long time. But we have nothing to lose by sitting here an extra hour searching. I might not have noticed it when I looked around the library the first time.
Sighing, I put aside another volume that was useless to us. Cain, if you know something about this, would you say something?
Do you think I like sitting in this musty little room? Of course I'll tell you.
Still, I can't wrap my head around the fact that immortals don't know anything about humans. Why are we looking for books about demons and rituals to summon them when we have one in our squad? Why don't you just tell the humans the answers to everything that torments us?
If only it were that simple. Humans have been making up fairy tales about heaven for centuries, inventing things that don't exist, and knowing they're nonsense with sacred meaning. Understanding your fantasy isn't as easy as it might seem.
The way his eye... Oh, y'all. I'm sorry. I find it so hot when he has the red eyes. I'm so sorry.
Besides, our fiction grows from a grain of truth, and I like to know who planted it.
Are you looking for some immortals?
I'm not looking, I'm just trying to understand if someone left information somewhere in this human world that could be useful to me.
For what? Cain just smiled mysteriously. Cain slammed the last book shut and put it atop a pile with our other futile attempts.
Well, it's not here.
I was confused by the ease with which the angel admitted our defeat. He burned some books in front of me. Why? What if the one we needed isn't here because he deliberately decided to get rid of it? Unable to hide the suspicion in my voice, I asked the question out loud with an almost palpable tone of accusation. What volumes were burned in the fire you started at the church? Cain raised an eyebrow, hurt by my distrust. Y'all, the face. It's the face for me. Son, I'm sorry, but if you want me to trust you, you need to give me a reason to trust you.
The original and all the copies, and what we're looking for now.
I sighed and ran my hand through my hair, pushing the unruly strands back. I'm confident that we're moving in the right direction. Someone in Rotkov decided to build a fountain with a phrase in Latin on the main square. And the text doesn't sound very friendly.
Let's hear it.
Opening my notebook, I read the passage to Cain. Yeah, You remembered the text craved into the fountain because you wrote it down. Not this man actually finishing it. I'm done. Oh, when he lies, he speaks according to his own nature, for he is a liar and the father of lies. Devil. Oh my gosh, not this man knowing the Bible verses.
Gospel of John, chapter 8, verse 44. That's how the whole phrase goes.
To believe that the creator simply craved a beautiful quote and stupid. If we remember that we found a sign of a patron demon in the forest, this phrase raises no questions. So the city isn't that simple, and it will bare its teeth. The main door is slammed on the first floor.
Squad has returned. Are we done for today?
Getting up, I went behind the shelf, peering through the window into the dark sky outside. It's already night, and I didn't even notice. Like, we forget our time as soon as we're around this man. Time flew by while I was engrossed in books. Thinking that Cain remained by the couch, I allowed myself to stretch my stiff limbs. Thinking that Cain remained by the couch... yeah. I want to search a little more.
I'm not deaf.
Startled with surprise, I turned around at the voice that sounded very close, and I burned my nose in the chest of the... This man said, I'm moving close to you. You think you can just get away from me? You think you can just get up like that? Who do you think you are? Like, I just got you back. He watched intently as I arced. It didn't escape me how his gaze slid over my figure. This man actually scanning us. Not this man scanning us. Son, you're becoming obvious now. Didn't you say in the first episode you're not interested in humans?
Are you tired?
I'm fine. He gently took me by the shoulders and moved me out the way. Y'all, I'm about to jump him. I would not have that much of reluctancy like she has.
It's my turn to patrol now. Ask someone from the squad to help.
Can I come with you?
Better rest and wait for my return.
This man says you're not doing anything else if I'm not around. Cain left the library, leaving me alone with my thoughts, guesses, and thousands of books that required checking. Without wasting my time, I went through the shelves again. Books about travel, about searching for artifacts, about uncharted lands. Apparently Romanov was a passionate person, a seeker. He's wasted a fortune on his library. And why did Boris say he wanted to escape his place? Everything looks like the house was built with love and passion for detail. Usually people are in no hurry to leave such places. The family nest carries the strength and wisdom of previous generations. I need to figure this out. I spent some more time in the library, but achieved no new results. Everything was wrong. None of the books were what I was looking for. The identical Burgess covers were making my eyes blur. My arms ached from the heavy volumes, and my back hurt from the uncomfortable couch. I needed a rest, but I didn't want to go to bed with nothing. It seemed that the solution was somewhere nearby, lurking between the oak shelves and waiting for someone to approach it, catch it, and bring it into the light. Someone knocked on the door frame, attracting my attention.
Simona? The squad is having dinner downstairs. Welcome.
I didn't have the slightest desire to go down. No thanks. I still have a lot of work to do. Footsteps were heard, and soon Anna came up to me. She was holding a small tray in her hands. Well, like her. I like the outfit.
I knew you'd say that.
Do you expect me to want to sit by you?
I figured that you wouldn't want to sit with everyone now, so I brought you food here.
She handed me the tray. Y'all, she's making it very, very difficult for me to completely hate her because, like I said, she knows when to shut up, and she at least shows a bit of decency. She doesn't immediately always accuse us like Kira and Greg and Dimitri, but she's still on my shit list because she went along. But to a specific degree, like I said, I believe in character development, and we do want to believe that time is capable to heal all wounds, and I want to believe that people can change. She's at least trying to show a different facade, so maybe she handed me the tray. Oh my gosh, look at this. You know what? Go with this. Is this really dinner? After a hard day, aren't soldiers entitled to something more substantial?
Don't worry about them. They will get this.
Anna, would you like to join me? No, thank you. I briefly thanked her, but she was in no hurry to leave. With her hands clasped behind her back, Anna enthusiastically ran her gaze along the endless shelves of the library. This woman is a mystery to me, but she's always been. After placing the tray on a stack of books not far from the entrance, I clutched a hot cup of aromatic tea in my hands and began to watch her.
Are you just going to throw everything in here? Won't that take too long?
Initially, I had a different plan, but it didn't produce results, unfortunately.
Everything doesn't always go as we plan.
She turned to me and smiled encouragingly. Out of the corner of my eye, I noticed movement in the doorway. The general stood there, not wanting to come inside. His stern eyes glared at Anna.
What are you doing here? I just brought dinner.
She folded her arms over her chest as if defending herself.
Simona, when can I expect something from you?
When you show a different tune? What do you mean?
Am I really asking too much of you? Do I demand so many things that you are at a loss? As far as I remember, there was only one thing.
He looked at me with irritation.
Dimitri, what happened? You're overreacting.
The general's gaze is so stern that I want to stand up for myself. You know what? Shoot his bitch ass to the stars. There's no need to confuse your personal attitude toward me with your professional one. I'm trying to do the task that was assigned to me.
I have no personal relationship with you. You're on the squad only because it was necessary. But I don't see any benefits to my decision yet. Please don't disappoint me.
Oh, if possible, please disappoint him. I always work to the best of my ability. If I don't meet your standards, the squad can always find another cryptographer who does suit your taste better, period. I love it. Dimitri grinned really. Dimitri liked your willingness to defend your own work.
Put all your energy into your work, but tomorrow I expect progress from you. You can keep your beautiful speeches to yourself.
Girls just jump out the window and disappear. Like this bitch is not worthy of your time. Dimitri walked away. When his footsteps on the stairs died down, Anna exhaled. I haven't seen Dimitri like this in a long time. She picked up the tray from the stack of books on which I had recently placed my empty mug. Shall we go? I want to stay longer. Are you sure? I nodded. Dimitri's words shook my confidence, and I wanted to regain the illusion of control. I, for one, can barely stand on my feet. I'm going to sleep. The woman left, and I remained sitting on the chair, wondering how I could manage to go through the entire library in just one night. It promised to be a long one. It was inconvenient to constantly hold the flashlight in my hand, so I walked through the neighboring rooms, examining them and figuring out how I could make the upcoming search easy on myself. From the room next to the library, I dragged a small table and put it next to the couch. There were also candles there. Ooh, look at this. It's a good idea to write down the names of each of the sections. This will make it easier to keep in mind what I need to check first and what is unlikely to be worthy of my attention. Walking between the shelves, I transferred everything that seemed interesting to me to the table. As I combed through everything section by section, I'll cross out the ones I've checked so I don't get confused. Now the section with the history of Rotkov. Oh, I want to sleep so badly. With another stack of books selected and set on the table, I pushed the rest to one side on the floor next to my feet. I better look through these in detail. Maybe I'll come across something interesting about the monastery or the estate. Bent over the books, I tried to force myself to process all the incoming information, but it became difficult for me to concentrate. Very soon I began to nod off. I decided to open the window so the cold air would keep me awake longer. It helped for a while, but even so I didn't notice when I fell asleep. Through my sleep, I heard someone going up to the second floor and walking across the creaking stairs. Deathly silence had taken over the entire estate long ago. The soldiers were all sleeping, exhausted from the difficult search, and only one person was completely deprived of sleep. He noticed the slight flickering of a candle on the second floor and walked towards the light. The moment I felt someone's presence, the reality completely mixed with my dreams. Oh, God. Through the veil of slumber, I noticed the general that the random guest left. Bye. There's no way in hell I'm gonna be happy to see his sorry ass. I woke up when it was already light out. I wanted to howl from irritation at myself. Silence still regained over the estate, which meant that I had some time before the others woke up. The sooner I start, the sooner I finish. Picking up the book on which I fell asleep, I peered at the pages. Ooh. How strange. I flipped through the book at the very end and opened the page where the publication date was listed. The year coincided with the year the estate was built. Then I pulled out another volume from the pile, which I had managed to study before falling asleep. This one had a later publication date, and some things were different. Opening both books to the same page, I studied the estate's floor plan. Of course, I didn't imagine it. In the old drawing, there was one more room at the end of the left wing. Grabbing the book to take with me, I ran out of the library and counted the number of doors. It didn't add up. One was missing, the very last room, the one that was erased from the more recent floor plan drawing. There isn't a door, but there should be a room, so the entrance to it is hidden and one can only get there from another room adjacent to it. I stood in the empty hallway and looked around as if possessed. My hair was disheveled from sleep, my thoughts were all over the place, and my pupils were darting around trying to find a clue. Which room leads to the sacred room? How can I figure this out? It suddenly dawned on me. I need to look around to find out where the wind is blowing from in Kira's room. Tolling recent events together? Everything that previously had no explanation suddenly merged into an obvious conclusion. The broken glass had hurt, the shards of which were never found. Then Kira's strange complaint about a draft coming from nowhere in her room. That's it. The killer knew about the presence of the room, or entered the estate in order to find it. And when he realized that the immortals were nearby, he had only one way out that would allow him to escape from the room unnoticed, to break out through the window. On a hunch, I rushed to Kira's room and slammed open the door. A loud sound made her jump out of bed. Anger, surprise, and fear mixed together in her eyes, and I had no time for her. Where's the draft coming from?
God, you're deranged. What are you doing here? Get out of my room.
Kira hurriedly threw on some clothes while rummaging along the walls, trying to find a joint, a gap, or something resembling a hidden door. Kira made such a racket that soon almost the entire squad came running into her room. The sleepy soul just looked at me with surprise and confusion. Dimitri made his way through the crowd.
What's going on?
Running my hand along the wall, I didn't answer him. It's better to see it once than to hear it 100 times, right?
She's definitely not normal. Stop it!
Hands off the property, son. Leave me to my work. I see the door. Dimitri pulled on my hand, and at the same time I stumbled upon a barely detectable gap from which cold air was escaping. I found it.
What are you talking about?
With my free hand, I pressed against the gap, and it gave away with a creak. The grinding of iron hinges ran out. Dimitri let go of me, and everyone froze. All eyes were glued to the wall from which the strange sounds were coming. The hidden door to Romanov's secret office. If the book I need is somewhere in the estate, then it's definitely in there. See? Finally, the sound stopped and part of the wall shook. The wallpaper stretched and then pulled apart in different directions. A light appeared ahead. We said surprise, bitch. What are you gonna do without me? We told them all to shove it. I hate that they're all getting so graspy. Hands off the property, especially Dimitri. Who is this man that he thinks that he can just grab us like that? I fucking hate it. I hate him, y'all. I can't. But anyway, we told them all to shove it because we finally found one thing that we were looking for. Sadly, Cain wasn't there to share our worries, but we had a beautiful moment with them, just as everyone promised me. And we will see what next episode will be like. I hope you enjoyed this video with me. Tell me in the comments below what you think was best, and I will see you in another video. Bye.